It was not really challenging because I didn't know what I was doing eventually, but over the years, it shaped itself. Right now, I can say it's paved way for many people who would, follow me and tell me I inspire them. They want to meet me, they want advice, they want me to mentor them. People want to work with you, but you need to, meet the demand. So I had to take a pause just to set everything on like straight, stop getting orders, stop, working with people, restructure and everything to what it is today. The invitations grew. I got invited to, high-end events, dress-up events. So I had to look the part. So, which actually paved way to my current business where I design suits now.
Hello, Africa. You're listening to 1000 African Voices. I'm your host, Aburengwi C, coming to you from our Johannesburg studios. 1000 African Voices is a program that profiles Africans of diverse cultures who have traveled and lived across the African continent and the world. In this series, we will collect and share stories from all parts of Africa. Welcome.
1000 African Voices.
Hello, Africa, and welcome to yet another episode of 1000 African Voices. I'm your host, Aburengwi C, and today we are joined by a very special guest who will shortly introduce himself to the listeners of 1000 African Voices. Hello, Franklin.
Hi, how are you?
Doing really well. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Oh, no, it's really good to have you on the program. Franklin, can you just briefly introduce yourself? For those who've never heard the name, how do you normally describe yourself?
So my name is Franklin Saiyalel. I'm from Nairobi, Kenya. I'm mostly known as a fashion blogger, menswear designer. Lately, I have gotten my hands into online strategy, lifestyle consultancy, and just basically digital strategy. But most people know me as a blogger.
All right, so we'll come back to the blogger issue, which is your primary interest. I'm interested to understand more about this digital strategy. So you say recently you started with that. What does it entail?
So basically, I help come up with marketing strategies for brands. It could be fashion, telco companies, banks, just based on my experience as an online influencer, and help people come up with strategies to help better their brands.
And Frank, how long have you been doing that? So before we go back into the discussion on blogging, how long have you been in digital marketing or digital strategy?
I can say since 2014 till today. So over the years, it's grown and had different experiences to what I can do today. Yeah.
All right. So fashion blogging, let's talk a bit about that. What informed or led you into wanting to pursue that as, suppose at this stage we can call it a fully fledged career? What prompted the idea to go into that space?
So technically, my background is in TV and radio production. And while I was studying that, I started a fashion blog, just more like a platform to help talk about, fashion influencers or enthusiasts, be it designers, models, photographers, makeup artists, because I saw there was need to just talk about or give platform to these people. And over the years, it helped me meet a lot of people in the industry, actually helped me to travel as much as I could then. When I was done with school, with my TV and radio production, I was not able to get jobs in TV, so I ended up just doing consultancy for different fashion brands or different people because over the years I gained to have the contacts, meet new people. I would go to fashion events. People would want me to do reviews for their shows or collections. And that's how I ended up doing fashion.
All right. So
Yeah.
you are the founder of Kenyan Stylista. Hopefully that's the correct pronunciation. Can you
Yes.
maybe go back in time and think about the time when you were establishing the brand, the company? What were some of the challenges, some of the things that when you look back on right now, you look back with fond memories?
I think when I started, I didn't really have as much challenges because I didn't really know where it was going to lead. Because this was more of a passion that I had just to highlight people, and I wasn't doing it for money or anything. But once my clout grew online, my following and invitations grew, I just sat down with someone who told me you could actually make money out of this. And that's when I thought of, re-strategizing my plan, seeing how best I can leverage this. Or I don't want to call it a gift, but like a talent that I have. So it was not really challenging because I didn't know what I was doing eventually, but over the years, it shaped itself. Right now, I can say it's paved way for many people who would, follow me and tell me I inspire them. They want to meet me, they want advice, they want me to mentor them. So over the years, the number of bloggers has grown, especially in Kenya, to different industries, not only in fashion, it could be tech, it could be, different things like farming. I can say right now it's just more of what you're offering that's different from what the rest are offering. So you just have to find your niche and go with it.
I would imagine, Franklin, that before you leave your house every single day, you're conscious of the fact that you run a brand that focuses on looking great. Do you
Yeah.
find that you experience that pressure to look good every single day to sort of set the tone for those that follow you?
Initially, I wasn't really into dressing up, but I think over time and the command you have online comes with its own expectations. So over the years, the invitations grew. I got invited to, high-end events, dress-up events. So I had to look the part. So, which actually paved way to my current business where I design suits now, my made-to-measure suits. And this was based on, people meeting me at events and they like what I wear. So they would ask me where I'd get it. I'd probably recommend to the designer, or I used to work with a tailor who would customize all my designs. And eventually it became a business for me.
All right. And I mean, you've been at it for over 9 years. So let's say 10 years of building a brand. Don't know if there are lessons that you have personally learned in setting up that brand. And I'm asking this question on behalf of listeners that perhaps want to go into entrepreneurship and start their own businesses. You read a lot of statistics where they say most of the businesses fail within the first year or 2 years. What would you say have been some of the lessons that you have learned over the last decade of setting up your company?
Honestly, I usually say, and it's been from experience, my first year of, let's say, the suit business was my best year in terms of making money. Because, the drive was there. I mean, the drive is still there, but you have challenging days where you don't have the psych to do anything. The thing is, once you start something and you've started making a name, you've started having an online presence, you just have to go with it, because if you quit now, your legacy stops, or that's when business gets serious. I can say it's been challenging in terms of, I've gotten to understand myself, I've gotten to understand how business works, because a lot of creatives are very are good with the craft, but don't really understand the business side of it. We can make a suit. I can cut fabrics, I can design, I can draw, but we don't really understand the money part. We don't understand how the books work. So it was very harsh for me. I mean, I lost a lot of money starting up. I've had investors which didn't go well. I've borrowed loans. So it's mostly the money aspect. And I usually say, growing up, if our parents could teach us things to do with money, things to do with relationships, maybe it will shape us, but sometimes the best way to learn is to go through it. It's mostly been just trial and failure till you actually get it. So it's mostly about patience and consistency. Yeah.
All right. So you qualified yourself as someone who could design great looking suits. You spoke about the fit to measure, essentially tailor-made suits. Having studied, I think you said radio and television production, I would imagine then that the skills that you acquired through Kenyan stylist then prepared you for what you are able to do now, even though that was not the area in which you trained. Is that a fair comment?
I would say, I mean, when I finished school and ended up in fashion, I had to make a decision in terms of there's an opportunity for me to make money here and also learn and work. But at the same time, I went to school to study something. Over the years, I've been doing fashion until late 2017 to 2018. I was able to get an opportunity to have a fashion television program where I was one of the hosts. And this is where maybe I had to go through fashion to be able to come up with a concept to work in TV. So it's just about going through or being patient or being open-minded to whatever opportunity comes first. So for me, it was fashion, and this is how I managed to make my contacts. This is how I managed to, learn about the craft, to be able to actually be on TV later on in life, because now it was clear if I was to do a TV or a radio program, I would know what to do based on my past experiences.
I'm wondering, as you talking earlier, you mentioned that after school you did struggle to get opportunities, which then brought out the entrepreneur in you. I do know that Nairobi within our continent is quite a vibrant city, and the economy of not only Nairobi but Kenya compared to most African countries is favorable. Can you maybe just talk to us about the life of an entrepreneur in Nairobi? Do you find that it is a city that enables people like yourselves, or do you find that you really have to go through brick walls to make any success of whatever project you're pursuing?
I mean, right now, what I can say is, and the things we talk about with my peers, is sometimes you find yourself having more than one job. Like, you are a consultant, you have a full-time job. It's because you're trying to make ends meet. And some crafts, especially the creative crafts, are really underlooked in not only even in Kenya, in even different African countries. So you find enable for you to probably thrive in what you've always wanted to do, you have to actually do a different job that you didn't really envision yourself doing to be able to fund this other passion. So it's very 50-50 in a sense where you find some people are thriving in it, some are don't. We've had a lot of high cases of depression, which some have led to, deaths, suicide. And normally it's because, this was just based on my own research, that a lot of people who are probably committing suicide right now, it's because either they're actually creatives who are trying to make it out there. And I don't want to say they're not really understood, but different African cultures, they believe in order for you to make it in life, you have to be, a doctor, a scientist, a banker, a lawyer. But things like being an artist, a musician, a fashion designer, or I don't know, just different crafts, they're really underlooked and discourages someone to actually get to their fullest potential. And you find there's only much you can do being in Nairobi or Kenya or in Africa in general. It's very hard, but at the same time, if you actually crack it and you have really supportive parents or friends, You can actually make it in life, but it's quite a struggle because you're trying to show people, you're trying to become a disruptor. You're trying to not prove, but you're trying to show people that there's something out there that you can do, or they need to see that you can actually do something and for them to believe in you. So it becomes tough. It becomes more like you're trying to prove, which is shouldn't be the case, other than you're trying to trying to show that there's a craft here, there's something we can do and make money out of here. We can become better people. We can put our country on the map. But it's like a far-fetched dream, if I can say.
All right. And with the effort that has gone into building this brand, 10 years into it, financially, has it been rewarding? Are you finding that with each new year, you are able to look back and sort of watch yourself grow financially from having set up this brand those many, many years ago?
I think there is something that comes with running your own brand, especially if you're passionate about it. It makes you work harder. It makes you, earn more money because it's something that you're doing as opposed to working for someone. So I can honestly say and confidently say that I earn more working for myself, and there are days I still don't earn enough. It's about how much potential or how much work you're putting into. So it's just about, you have the time, you have the resources to some extent, and also it's just up to you to do as much as you can, knowing that it's going to benefit you. So yeah, that's been my experience so far.
Yeah, I suppose with employees, especially of corporates, if you spend a week doing nothing, you know that at the end of that month, your salary is guaranteed, even more so within the public sector. But the one thing that always comes up is that when you are a business person or an entrepreneur, you know that if you don't put in the time, the hours, it's directly proportional to how much you are likely to make. So yeah, I do totally agree. And I suppose the rewards also very, very different. It must be, and I say must be because I'm not a business person, but it must be very satisfying to see your effort converting to something that is financially tangible. Franklin, yeah, maybe let's move on to where you now want to go with this brand. So now you're in Nairobi, you are a household name across Kenya. Where does it go? Where do you go from here? What do you want to achieve?
Sometimes I feel like, there's only much you can do here. I've been grateful to meet the people I have met by just running my own brand. The thing is, I find myself feeling like I need to see what else is out there. Sometimes as a creative, we have a lot of creative block, like you run out of inspiration, you run out of psych to do work. There are days I don't even feel like going to the office or, marketing my business. And what normally happens is traveling. Traveling actually makes me feel inspired. I come back home inspired. I want to do these things. It's because every time I make a trip anywhere I travel to, I make time to meet other entrepreneurs in probably the same industry or other industries, or it could be even a vacation or a holiday, but I still make time for work. And this helps me understand how people do their things, how people do their crafts. So over the years, I've been able to travel based just on my blog, and like 80% of the time I travel, it's paid for because of, being able to network, being able to meet other inspiring people. So I feel like traveling would be the next thing for me, or just, diversifying my craft into other countries, or being able to even work or intern for someone who is well established, just to be able to, better myself. So there's only much I can do here. And I feel like, traveling is the window of more opportunities.
So are there countries, Franklin, that you specifically are targeting to visit, as well as maybe you can just talk to us about the countries that you have visited that have had an impact on your outlook, be it a positive or negative one? So it's just the countries that you want to go to, and secondly, the countries that you have visited.
I'm very eager to go to Europe, especially France, mostly because of I'm very big on photography. So I get most of my referrals through online or just friends or people I've worked with before. So another way I market myself is through photography. So I'm very particular on, the kind of quality of pictures I take, or so I usually like taking pictures of, like architectural, or it's more about details for me, and been mostly inspired by architecture. And I feel like Europe, France, Italy are some of the places I would feel more creative and more inspired to take pictures. So those are the places I'm keen to go to my next trips. Starting from home, I usually try and start from home to see where else, like especially in Africa, what else people are doing. So I've been going for fashion weeks, especially in South Africa. I've done the Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week. I've done the AFI, and I can say there are people like from that perspective. I find there are people doing more things or more. There's more drive, more opportunities to work together as Africans when I travel. I go to Thailand a lot because I get most of my fabrics there, and I work with some factories there. So I come back just more inspired, seeing what else are people doing that we are not doing better. So the work ethics, especially in Thailand, people work day and night. The time delivery is amazing, and I thrive more for quality, for more delivery, and like my suit business especially, I prefer meeting my clients. I prefer taking their measurements. I prefer getting to know them. And this is something, like when they say about African tailors, they promise you a lot and then they still don't deliver. And this is what I've been trying to break for a long time. And I've been able to do it by just working with the Thai people. I always just try and do something different. And when I feel like I'm not doing something right, I seek help. I consult with people on how best to better myself. So traveling has been something that has always been of great help to me, especially when I don't have any creative inspiration.
Just listening to what you're saying, it sounds like you're pretty much hands-on, especially on the tailoring business.
Mm-hmm.
One has to wonder what becomes of that business when it grows. So imagine your business being 10 times bigger than it is today, which will then mean you can no longer afford to be as hands-on because you've got a bigger company to run.
Yeah.
Do you think about those things? Sort of what happens when your company becomes bigger than what you can handle? What happens to the brand?
So about 2 years ago, I had an investor who I was very eager and very fast to bring them on board because they brought in a lot of financial help. We actually had two outlets where we would do the whole suits and everything was going okay in terms of investment, but the quality wasn't the best. So I decided to just, stop everything and improve on the quality. So this is how I managed to travel. And, I went to China, I went to Thailand. I got some of these people to come here to, to teach us the craft, at least to just try and improve on it, because over the time, the demand was getting bigger and still the quality wasn't the best. And this was reflecting on my reputation as a brand. People talk around, people want to work with you, but you need to, meet the demand. So I had to take a pause. I actually took a year just to set everything on straight, stop getting orders, stop, working with people, restructure and everything to what it is today. So of course I want to expand. I want to, have more time to focus on other things other being hands-on. But the main thing I had to do first was focus on the quality. I am very 110% confident today that I can get suit orders done on time. The quality would be the best. And this was over time. I can tell you where I was 4 years ago, 3 years ago wasn't where I am today. And it mostly had to do with quality of, clothes. So my next goals right now, I mean, I do a lot of weddings and I want to really focus on this because I feel like, or from experience, weddings are very, very like it's a luxury thing. And it's not mostly about the money, but I just like doing a well done outfit for the groom and the groomsman. I just feel like it's time to focus on weddings and be the best wedding, meant to measure suit person in the country, and as much as I can expand it.
All right, and we wish you well in your pursuit for that goal. Suppose once you do reach the goal, there will be names coming your way. The wedding king, I can think of a few names that you will then be associated with. As people are listening to this right now, so if I'm sitting in Nigeria, Franklin, and I want to make use of your services, or maybe just order a suit for myself because it sounds like the quality that you produce is world class. How do I place an order? Is there a way that I can reach you from outside Kenya?
Well, I am available on social media and on email, and we do Wells delivery. So by following my social media, that's at Saiyalel and Kenyan Stylista, you can be able to find me. Our prices are very good. We have a wide range of fabric selections. It takes actually 8 hours to make a suit. Depending on where you are, that's when the delivery takes a bit of time. But the quality, the finishing is amazing. And please reach out if you're interested in a suit, and looking forward to being of help.
So, Franklin, you're saying that if I come to your store at, say, 8 in the morning, you're saying that by around 4 p.m., I can go home with a tailor-made, brand new Franklin suit. You say it takes about 8 hours. Most tailors have a very long waiting period, which takes days and sometimes weeks. You're saying you can do it in 8 hours, yeah?
Yes, we can do it in 8 hours. But now, as I mentioned, I work and produce in Thailand. So it'll take 8 hours to make the suit in Thailand, but get it to you, that's when it will take about a week. So about a week and a half, you can have your suit.
Oh, so we place an order with you. However, the production happens in Thailand. Okay, I had missed that part. I thought you go to Thailand for the material. You bring the material back to Nairobi and produce the suits. But I think you're saying the production happens elsewhere, yeah?
Everything, the stitching is done in Thailand, but all the fabric selection, you can select all your fabric, all the measurements are done here, but the finished product is done in Thailand. We are working on getting the tailorship and the craftsmanship done here, but for now we are actually working in Thailand.
All right. Now, I wish you well in sourcing that service sometime in the future. I assume then that in terms of your business model, that it is cheaper then to do it that way. Is it purely a matter of quality, or are you finding that even the cost of production when you do it that way is much lower than it otherwise would be if you were producing your product in Kenya?
Given that I've done both experiences, producing here and producing elsewhere, the thing is, I work with two different factories. We are able to, have a subsidized price in terms of production. So by the time I'm pricing the client, it's a bit pricey, but in the sense that it covers the shipping and the production. So a good suit would cost you about $500, and that covers including of shipping. So that is, from different market rates, that's actually a good rate.
500 pounds. That is,
yes,
not cheap.
For our next, it is actually cheap, given that there are a lot of when you're walking into a different brand store in a mall or a tailor produced suit locally, you're getting quality, you're getting good finishing, and if you're actually importing, for example, a German, I'm not trying to mention names, but a German or an English Savile Row suit, for it to get to you, it would cost you probably double or triple the price.
No, when you put it like that, then it does give it some context. All right, Franklin, it's really been an interesting conversation. I've enjoyed sort of getting into the mind of an entrepreneur on the African continent trying to make a difference to build this brand, but also using the technology that we have in 2019 where you can design a product in one country and have it produced elsewhere. And I think here of brands such as your Levi straws that are designed elsewhere, but they're actually produced in countries such as Pakistan. A brand such as the Apple brand, yes, the design and the patents are all in the States. However, none of that production happens there. That's really just the reality of the world we live in 2019. So with that, Franklin, I don't know if you have any last words before we bid you farewell.
My advice to everyone listening is if you're really passionate about something, go for it. No matter how many times you fail, at least you tried, and keep going for it. Be patient and be consistent.
Coming from you who's built a brand for over a 10-year period, that is really the best possible message, and hopefully our listeners will heed that advice. So Franklin, from myself, Aburengwi C, on behalf of the 1000 African Voices team and all our listeners, it's really been a pleasure listening to the journey that you have been on and for you to share your experiences with all of us. So I would like to truly thank you for making the time to join the 1000 African Voices project. So thank you, Franklin.
Thank you, and thanks for having me.
Cheers. Take care.
1000 African Voices.
You've been listening to 1000 African Voices. Please join us next time as we bring you yet another African voice. 1000 African Voices is produced by Aburengwi C. Sam Ganich is our sound engineer with our head researcher Jones Maleka. The intro soundtrack for the show is by the legendary Salif Gator from his 1995 album Forlorn. The song you're listening to right now is by Chronix and the title of the song is Legend. For more information, including the contact details of our guests, please visit us on our website www.1000africanvoices.com. You can also subscribe to our show on iTunes by searching for 1000 African Voices. We are also available on Stitcher. You can find us as well on Podbean. The only thing we ask of you is that you subscribe to our show by logging on to 1000africanvoices.com and click the subscribe button. That helps us grow. It helps us keep producing and bringing to you more African voices. Until next time, Kungana Africa, and take care.
Being an ordinary person doing what's right. Yesterday at the football game, a little girl asked me my name. She said, "Sir, I've seen you before. Tell me, who are you?" I said, "I am a legend that you never heard of before." I said, "I am a lion, but you never heard me roar. I am a hero that nobody celebrates. But if one person remembers my name, that means on the ocean of fame I'm an unknown sailor. I'm the percussionist playing with the whalers, the one with the shaker, the mover and shaker. My name wasn't on the front of the paper, but me not cater. Much more than the worker is greater. Creation glorifies creator. So all deeds done are in the name of my maker. I am a legend that you probably never hear about. Words from the lion's mouth. I am a hero that nobody celebrates. But if one person remembers my name, give praise, that means I made a change. story of my life. Ordinary person just like you. If you take a look inside, you see the great things that people do. We're out here changing lives day and night, day in, day out. BBC don't show it, CNN don't show it. He's out.